Well, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk, where we explore magical, spiritual, and creative topics with depth, joy, and a touch of mischief. In this episode, Hershe the Shadow Reader and I are turning our focus to the art of choosing the right tools for the job, whether the work is magical, healing, creative, or transformational. Now, what makes a tool right for a particular working? How do we know what to reach for and when to trust that our breath, our body, or our will is enough? We'll draw parallels between spiritual practices and everyday tasks. No one uses a hammer to turn a screw, or they shouldn't. And explore how clarity of purpose shapes the tools we select. Now, whether you're gathering candles, herbs, or quarter tools, or rummaging through your junk drawer with ritual in mind, join us for this conversation about intention, improvisation, and the beauty of working with what you've got. So, thank you everybody for being here for this Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk. I'm Tara Stash. Thank you. I'm joined by Hershe the Shadow Reader.
Hi, everybody.
All of our links are below. You can reach out to both of us to get readings, to show your support, and make sure that you're subscribed. What's Miles saying?
It's not Miles. Mo shut the door on Cole, and he can't
Uh-oh.
stand when she closes doors in his house.
You cry?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to hear you guys, so I need to shut the door.
Okay.
So, here is an important reminder for everyone. Please like and subscribe because it's free. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. Hershe, we are joined by some of the amazing people who oftentimes are here. These are the best chatters, the work lurkers, the best lurkers, and the future lurkers.
Love
It's
it.
good to see everyone. Thank you. So, this topic came up when we did our last show, disposing of sacred tools.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. It did.
It's like, hey, let's talk about that. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about that. So it's like, So I do want to say hello to uh, Medium Betsy Palmer gets to pop in before writing for a change up today. Beautiful. And the amazing Zane is here, Madame Maru, Linda de Gonzalez. Jonathan Daly needs to check his email. Jonathan Daly, please check your email. Russ Bob's Barbara. So, trouble. Mo is here. So,
Watch that one.
so when we think about this, uh, um, you know, why is this important? Do you have a general why?
I think I don't know. I think it's kind of mandatory in my world.
Okay.
I have a tendency to, because I'm such a strong magnet. I can tell, like um sometimes, depending on what that object or item or tool has been through, whether it needs to be retired before it ever even really
Sure.
gets used, right?
Sure.
Especially depending on where the tool comes from. I don't know. I think that it's normal to uh kind of interact with them. I think it's our dual purpose as humans to find out what is capable with the energy exchange, depending
Absolutely.
on where you're at in your spiritual path.
I agree with you. And Pamela has joined us, and Linda put this up. It's important so you don't have to swat a mosquito with an anti-aircraft weapon.
Doesn't sound smart.
It doesn't sound smart. However, I'm going to be one of the first people to admit I've actually used the wrong tool for what I've been trying to do because it was available.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah,
Guilty.
yeah. So, and this is a fun topic. I like talking about magic tools. I like talking about magic.
Mhm.
And so what I wanted to do is let's start with this, which is the questions to ask when selecting magical tools. There are
Okay.
4 basic things to consider.
Okay.
And the first one is we need to have internal clarity for the magic that we are doing or the reason we are gathering the tool. So that's that idea of what am I trying to shift, heal, invoke, or release? Am I trying to fix the plumbing in the bathroom?
Mhm.
That's a different set of tools than if I'm doing gardening.
Yes.
So, so what do you think about this internal clarity?
um, I think this is the first time I think I've ever heard it like this. So,
Mhm.
again, I think it's another thing that should be normal and natural. But I never really like you said, you don't use a hammer to screw in a nail or whatever, or screw in a screw, right? You know, I said that totally wrong. So, yeah, I think it kind of goes back to that statement you made where if you really don't know what you're doing, uh,
Yes.
clarity, you know, it hurts when you smash your thumb with a hammer. I learned that the hard way several
Hmm.
times. Um, you don't use a roofing hammer for a drywall either. So yeah, I think that this is something that I'm going to be um finding all the ways that actually fits outside of even tools. I think
Hmm.
I just got a homework assignment and I gave it to myself.
Y'all heard it here first. Hershe the Shadow Reader has an assignment.
I do.
So tune in the next time. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels to get that. Timmy Raven is here. Excuse me, Raven Tarot Meditation, as well as Kiba. If internal clarity is important because intention is one of the most powerful tools that we have. I've said this before. I will continue to say it. The intention is very important. Purple Elephant Deb H and I have done shows about that. Angela Cartomancy Mesquite, we've talked about this. Medium Betsy Palmer and I have talked about this. Lots of us have talked about this. You have to know your intent.
Mhm.
Here's an interesting question, and this is for you in the chat. How do you get clarity around your intent if you're not exactly sure? What's the way that works for you?
Good question.
So, how do you get the clarity? And Raven Tarot Meditation said, I'm not big on homework. Yes.
Life is homework.
Yes. Yes. Well, and part of I will say as people give us their thoughts about how they get that clarity,
Mm.
writing is a really good way to do that.
Mm.
Actually
Yes, it is.
putting writing utensil to paper.
Yes, I agree.
I also think having a conversation with a trusted person.
Yes, that's anyone that has um usable knowledge with the life experience. That's definitely a good one.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
It's not homework, it's home play. Oh, see, I like the way you think, Jonathan.
um,
Meditation.
Raven, yeah, meditation is my clarity procedure. That's true. That can be a very, very powerful tool.
Hmm.
One of the things that I do is, oh, wait a minute. So we've got that. We also have from Medium Betsy Palmer. I ask myself to define my goal. What outcome do I intend? And how may others be affected?
Mm.
It's very wise.
Yes.
And what's nice about this from Betsy is it's not only what is the outcome I intend, it's also how others may be affected.
Mm. Do you know what else it is? How does
What
the
is it?
tool intend? How does the tool intend? I literally have that's one of I spent like the first 5 minutes trying to find my list. I have a checklist that I
Mhm.
go through, and I could have rewrote it, but I wanted to dig it out of my shadow books
Of
because I
course.
haven't done that in a while, you know. It's not always fun going through them shadow books. Anyway, I found my list, and yeah, one of my numbers, one of my things is the intent. And then it's not just my intent, but what is the tool's intent? So
The tools
definitely
intent.
intent is strong.
Mhm. That's a good one. One of the things that I do when it comes to finding internal clarity, I
Mhm.
will oftentimes do a reading about it. If
Oh,
I'm not sure, I will actually do a reading and it's like, and tell me what's going on with this. How am I feeling? Uh, Raven Tarot Meditation was on my channel, and he did for me a um, primal duality reading, which was extremely insightful.
mhm.
And so, yeah, there you go. Betsy said, love that, Hershe. The tool's intent. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Depending on the tool, I mean, people have some heavy hitters, and some people are intimidated by other people's tools, but the tool itself was created for a very specific job, usually.
Yes.
So, what is the actual intention of the tool?
Yes. Janet Lee G is here, and Jane the Seeker is doing drive by.
Hi, babe.
Linda said, yes, I do that too. Reading for myself when I'm not clear.
I need to
I
maybe try that. Maybe.
it's very helpful. The other thing is there are readings that can be done to help you figure out what you need to do. And that is something that we'll talk about some of the magical tools a little bit. So I'm going to write that down so I don't forget that.
Okay.
And Vicky Howell is here. Hello.
Hi.
So the other thing to think about this is what's my emotional state? Am I really, really angry? Because that you bring that emotional state with you to the working. There is such a thing as righteous anger, no doubt about it. That's extremely powerful. Love is extremely powerful. So the other thing is with the internal clarity is am I working on this on my own, or am I doing this with other people? Because that changes the tools, because it's like the intent of the tool's intent. It's
Mhm.
also the intent of the other people.
True. Very
So,
true.
all right. I'm gonna is do you have anything else to add about that internal clarity before I move on?
No, I think I got plenty notes. I've got a good jump start for that one.
Okay. So the other thing to look at is it's the function-based reflection. What kind of energy do I need to raise or to hold? Think about that in the sense of, does this working call for directing energy or receiving it? Do I need to anchor that energy somehow? Do I need to deflect it? Do I need to pull something in? Do I need to remove something? I will say that if you remove something, be ready to replace that energy with something else.
Mm.
Nature abhors a vacuum.
Hmm.
So, and Timmy said, my emotional state changes my perception.
Always,
Anger and rage make me see things that weren't there.
always,
Some with other emotions, same with other emotions at time. Absolutely.
always. Yeah, well, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know about always on the last part of it, but always definitely for the anger and rage, because
Mhm.
it's the trigger mechanism that happened. It wasn't even the
Yeah.
person; it was what you allowed to get triggered. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that one.
Yeah. Betsy added, I was thinking about going on an early side quest before writing, but now I must stay with y'all.
Oh, I love.
Oh,
I feel
it's
special.
lovely. I feel I feel very, very special.
Special.
Well, and okay, so that idea of the reflection based things, thinking about that or the function, what are you trying to do? If you're
Mm,
trying to remove something, are you just going to banish it? Or are you going to put it in a jar? Are you going to freeze it? Are you going to burn it? Something along those lines. And by the way, there are lots of ways to do lots of different things. The right way is the one that works for you and your intent.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
um, okay. The other thing that I always have to consider when questions when selecting magical tools, what's the practicality and availability?
mm. Okay.
Hershey was telling me some things of ingredients that might be helpful for me to come by. And
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to say it. You say it if you need it. But I was like going, how in the world am I going to find that? Or what is that? I'm like, really? So
Mm,
practicality and availability. What tools
like
do I already have that are suitable for this?
mhm. Ooh, yeah. That
So
would be
think,
number 2 on my list.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scratches the itch for this.
Hmm. Can I substitute a traditional tool with a household object?
Hmm.
Maybe.
I like that one. Okay.
Does this tool need to be portable? Does it need to be durable? Is it temporary?
Movable. I do like that.
And by the way, if you're taking notes like Hershey, give this video a thumbs up. This is great. I can tell every once in a while she goes, oh, yeah.
Well, it's the words I don't think of, and it's not that I don't know the words, but I don't some always, tie the 2 together, and it's like, "That was a good connection word. I need to
Mhm.
keep that one in mind."
Yes,
Because it's like when I
absolutely.
look at my little checklist over here, my little list of 5 for every every tool, any deck, no matter what it is, it's the same 5, and it's like, "Oh." Oh, I never thought about that. That's a good I think I'm finding ways to shorten my list so that they're not like paragraphs. Like number 1 isn't 5 lines long. I'm thinking a way of
No.
shrinking that, and it's still having
Mhm.
the same impact. So, yeah, good
Yes,
connection words.
great. And okay, we have Vicky Howell said, I just had a conversation with a cousin I haven't talked to in 3 years. She hurt me really bad when I saw her last. She apologized and I forgave her. I couldn't carry it around anymore. And
Nice.
I'll be really honest with you. Sometimes the words that you use are exactly what you need that dissipates it. Words are power.
Mhm. Boy, some of
Yeah.
the strongest things of all times is
Yes.
words.
Jonathan said um, another thing to think about is using what you already have versus having to get something special for the working. Absolutely. There's also ways of I've used this tool previously for this and that was its intent. Does is it available or not? Is it available? Is that intent finished? Can I use it for something else? Is there a cleansing that needs to be done? Cheryl said, be new to this kind of ritual. I've been on a small shopping spree. I trust me, I'm an acquirer. I know exactly what you mean. I'm also a person who I have belief that what I need is going to show up in the most unexpected way, and it's
Every
freaking
time.
awesome.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mo said, I came across a video yesterday on how to use Tiger Balm for spells. I meant to watch the video after work yesterday, but it's on my to-do list. Still using stuff you already have. I think, I mean, use what you have. Check with it. Will it work? One of the things that's important, I think, when you're selecting tools, trust your intuition, trust and verify. If you have a pendulum, do you do readings? Do you check to see, is that going to work for this? What are you thinking, Hershe?
I I grew up with, the concept or philosophy, whatever you want to call it. If you know my family, then you know everything in its place and a place for everything. Um, so I'm for me specifically, I don't know that I can make other things um forcefully go into an energy it might not have been intended or created for. So
Yes.
I do like this, and I'm going to think about it because I'm real quick to turn a paper clip into a pendulum when needed.
Oh, of course.
So I will also cross some paper clips for confirmation, and dowsing rods for other things than water. So
Yep.
obviously, I still have a lot to learn, but I do like this concept. So the
Mm.
availability is something I didn't think of broadly like this. I guess just a little too old fashioned. So definitely, this modern day uh, thought is making my mind go, "What? But should it? Could it? And would it?" So I do like it. I'm
Should
just
it, could it, would
thinking
it?
in
Yep.
space.
Yep. Angie Burks is here. Hello, Angie.
Hi.
I also think one of the great things about availability
Mm.
is the high priestess in the coven. What she did early on with the inner circle was they were casting circle. They were having ritual. They all had their tools, and what she told them was, you need to go out around. I mean, it was at a park. You need to go out and find the tools that you are going to use to cast circle. You cannot use anything you brought with you.
Mm. 'Cause
So
everything you need, you already have it. I like that concept. Okay.
yep.
I like that.
Lady or Eva J is here. And okay, Tim said, wonderful. Surprising things started happening to me more often once I began being honest with myself and others. It makes logical sense if you think about it.
And then some.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So that availability, look around you. There's probably something that will work.
Mhm. I'm gonna have to check that out and open my concept to that.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to what I find out.
Yeah. And here's the fourth one of these questions to consider, these things to consider, is time and timing. When I say
Mm.
this, how much time do I have to gather the materials or to prepare? Is this
Mhm.
something that I know at Imulk on February 2nd, I'm going to do something on June 22nd that gives me what 4 months to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something, if you have the time and you build it, trust me, when you have enough time and you do things with that energy, it does build, it augments. Or, there's a lot of things. Suddenly I'll get a text from a friend who says, hey, I need help with this. Boom, I'm on it. It's like, okay, I don't have any time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so there you go. So anything for you about time and timing?
Yeah. Again, I wasn't quite lenient. Again, that's another one of them things that for me, I'm learning differently, right? So
Mm-hmm.
timing, right? Boy, that is something I had to learn in more hard ways than I ever am willing to want to jump in the saddle and do again. So, with that
Yeah.
being said, there are many things I will continue to still do for the rest of my life because I'm fated or destined, or it's my time
Mm-hmm.
finally to step into that kind of energy. But the fact that I used to force things to happen at my will and at my time, um, I think I have a little bit different concept of time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't move in man's time. I move in source's time. I also move in the universe's time. But timing, if it's meant for me, I no longer push the clock. I don't rush it, and I
Mm-hmm.
know when it's time, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen, no matter
Oh,
how
definitely.
prepared or unprepared I am. So
Definitely.
time and timing is something I'm learning to get a little more comfortable with because I grew up learning to only trust your wings. So if you can carry yourself there, you can do it, regardless if it's the
Mm-hmm.
right time or not. I'm now learning that concept of kind of go together. So I'm restructuring some things. There's nothing better than unlearning just to relearn in a way that's more suiting to me and fitting.
Well, uh, that in and of itself is extremely powerful. Part of what the appropriate tools are is the information that we have about the
Mhm,
subject matter,
mhm,
and what new research or what ancient research is still very appropriate.
yeah.
So I love that. Write that down, everybody. Vicky said, and if that time doesn't feel right, make a point to finish it when it does. I think there are things that you can do multiple times.
Mm, mhm,
I gave a gift to Coven members a long time ago. Is I used water from the initiation ceremony. It was, and I blessed it at all of the full and new moons for the year after that. So that was a big timing thing. So Jonathan said, time and timing, moon phases, the seasons, which are basically sun phases, and the hours of the day. I use the Chinese organ clock for my daily timing. I think that's very, very good. Here's the thing about this, Jonathan, because I have a tendency to be, everybody knows what I'm going to show, to be an overachiever. Part
yeah.
of what happens with me, I know, shocking, shock. Part of what happens is I get so caught up in the complications of it, I don't do the working. Instead of just do the simple thing, pour some hot water into a pot with some herbs in it and make a tea. That's one way to do it, and that's a perfectly reasonable way. The other thing is I could I could harvest those herbs at a certain time and certain season. I could dry them, I could put them out under the sun or the moon. So it's like, yeah. Eva said the biggest lesson has been my biggest lesson has been the universe's time is not my time. I always say when I read cards, the universe doesn't work on Eva standard time.
Mine either.
Yeah. And I've also been learning about planetary hours. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I've talked about this before, and some of you have been on with it. It's like, which is more powerful, the new moon or the full moon?
New moon.
Okay. For those of you in chat, which is more powerful, the new moon or the full moon? Go ahead. We'll take a sip.
Was I wrong?
I didn't say you were wrong.
I'm listening to Miles. Miles is like, what? I'm wrong. Like, I don't know. Yeah, one of the things I like to say all the time is if it's meant to be, it'll be. And a lot of people, like they get somewhat offended by that. And I'm like, what
Mhm.
are you mad about? I'm not saying no, and I'm obviously saying yeah. I'm saying yes, let's do it. As long as it's meant to be. The universe has a way of making you go left when you were intentionally, blinker and all, was set to go right, and you
Yep.
made a left anyway. So there are those times where it's just not meant to be, and you're gonna hit a zillion detours because you're not ready for that. So I don't know. I think that kind of goes both ways in that concept too. I like that.
Thank you, Jonathan. I feel seen. Okay, so to answer that question, I am so glad people are putting in their thoughts. They're equal, they are the same. Eva says the full moon. The moon is the same powerful, so no matter the phase. Depends on what it's for, depends on the ritual you're doing. At least that's my understanding. Betsy said, I don't think one is more powerful. I use new moon to call creation to me and full moon to release things, aka let it go.
Mm-hmm.
One is in a shadow and one is not. They are still the same. As if I stand in the shadows or light, I'm still me.
Yeah,
Yes, Mo.
it's the only time they're both full, so to speak, or
Yeah.
fully illuminated. There's,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you look at it, um, one's full of trash and one is full of intentions. So,
Full moon is full power in one direction. New moon is full power in the other direction. And I think this is interesting because the correct answer is it doesn't matter. It's just what you do during that phase. So, like Betsy shared,
hmm.
it's like, what do you do with a full moon? How do you phrase that working? How do you phrase the working if it's a full moon? How do you phrase it if it's a new moon? And like Betsy said here, new moon calls and pulls in. So you phrase that. If you're working with a full moon, it's about releasing. Your response may vary. Your mileage may vary. So, and yeah, and it does actually depend on the conjunction. If you are paying attention to the astrology, absolutely pay attention to that. And Eva said, I've always felt that when the moon is full, that there is a sort of power to it. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. So
Hmm.
it was sort of a loaded question. And the question is which is more powerful? They
I
are
still
both
stick with my
equally
answer.
powerful.
Yep, I stick with my only cards in my world. I would rather have something that's full of hope and intention than it's full of trash and needs to be emptied and thrown away. So, yeah,
Sure.
for me, as a new moon, uh, wonderful moon child, I'm always gonna go with that new moon. I'm always gonna go with new intentions. I'm always gonna go with hope and
Mhm.
unity. So for me,
And
in
the
my little world, it's always
yeah.
gonna be the new moon. So I'll take the dark moon for 500, Alex. But that's just me in my world, yo.
No,
I
and
love
see,
that they're equal and balanced, but in my mind, they're not the same.
and it's because it's what you're used to working with, and it's a tool that is comfortable for you to use. And by the way, for those of you who are watching, if you've never used a particular tool, um, you don't have to use it. If
True.
if you have to do something and you don't, and it's a quarter moon, okay, just pay attention to it a little bit. So, are you hot?
I'm burning up. Yeah, thanks.
So, I hope that makes sense to people. Because there's a great deal of beauty in that. Both of them are amazing. Just depends upon how you're going to use that magic.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was kind of joking in my words, but
Oh
for me
no,
in
it's
my world,
perfect.
it's always going to make sense that way.
Oh, it's perfect. And Terry said, our bodies are mostly water, right? The moon
Yes,
affects tides on the ocean, of course. It affects us. Yes. Yes. So here you go. The universe is our tool.
true.
Yes. Yes. And by the way, there are lots of different ways, lots of different tools that are available to us. Okay. Let's talk about examples of magical tools, categories, and such.
Okay.
What do you have anything to share before we move on? Everybody following me? This is great. I love this. Great conversation, best chatters.
No, I'm okay with the time and timing. I think I got a pretty good understanding of it. I have a lot to learn. There's still so many things I am so new to, regardless of how long I've been doing whatever I
Mm-hmm.
do with and for the other side. There's still so much knowledge that I'm learning, and life itself is constantly reminding me of what I don't know. So I enjoy this. So I'm here for it.
We all have a lot to learn, and I'm gonna heap praise in your general direction, Hershe. Are you ready? She's gonna hide her face behind the thing. The fact that you know you have a lot to learn makes it very cool because you're always learning. You're not stagnant.
True, true. I'm looking very awkward with my fan here, but I'm gonna get it.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so what might be a tool that you could use if what you're needing to do is associated with air? And for me, I say the element of air is mental and intellectual. What might be some examples of tools that you would use?
Well, outside of my brain, an afflame.
Anathema, yes.
Um,
And an athame is a two-sided knife.
yeah, it won't cut the skin though. It's not made to cut the skin. It's only meant to cut energy. It's an afflame.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's not meant to do physical body harm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just gonna cut off that energy that is no longer serving. But swords, anything that has the ability to um make you think. And to me, the best tool is the brain because well, the
Mm-hmm.
only time you're not using it is when you're you know, on the other side, so because you don't have it anymore. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would definitely be something that forces something to be either removed or added.
Okay.
So the
Mm-hmm.
tool needs to be sharp. It needs to be witting. Um, and it has to be able to grow in knowledge, grow in abundance. It has to be able to gain as much
Mm-hmm.
as I'm gaining, I think.
Vicky said, as an air sign, meditation to another realm. It's a very, very appropriate tool. You could do a journey and you could do a meditation, of course. Eva J said, for me, it's very long walks.
Mm.
And Maru said, I think a fan would be a great tool for air element. Yes,
I did it.
it very much could be. Also, you might want to consider things such as bells, incense. Incense can combine two of them. It can do air and fire.
Okay.
So part of what you're thinking about here is you want to have clarity and you want to be open for new ideas when working with this.
Okay.
Jonathan said athame, incense, fans, feathers. Feathers, yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got to get my
Yes.
feathers built back up again. I got to get feathers,
Yep.
but definitely feathers.
Incense.
Chimes blow in the wind.
Yep. Chimes. Great. I have chucked small crystals into the air off a cliff or a high spot to release my intention to the universe.
I like that idea.
I love that, Betsy.
Might take me to the mountains. I want to do that.
That's incredible. No, you have to go to the water today.
Oh yeah, I'm busy. I forgot. Never mind, buddy.
Janet Lee G said, I have an owl feather on my altar.
Jelly.
Yep. So again, the idea of is this, think about that as an element and what you could use as a representation for that element. We also have fire, which is action and transformation. What tools might be associated with fire?
Well, other than candles.
Well, you need to say candles because nobody
Oh,
has said candles yet.
oh, okay. We'll see. Let's see. We have you have candles. You have flames. Matches. Matches are good. That's
Mhm,
a good tool to have because it's
mhm,
all flame and it's also wood. So that's 2 in
mhm.
1.
There's a bonus. Yes, is something that you have.
Mhm.
Is it singular or is it multi-layered? An
Yes.
athame that I have has an animal bone as part of the hilt. Is that the right term? The handle.
Yes. The kilt.
So, and I purchased it specifically for that.
Well, I guess mine has dragon wings, so there's that. I guess anything with
Nice.
wings classifies that. Yeah. So there's that.
Very nice. So we have some people in the chat who are popping in. Any powerful symbol that makes means something to you will work, I think. Yes, very much. Sigils are very good. I've done a Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk about sigils with Zane from Tarot Token Witchery and Chris Yao for Barely Balanced Tarot or Conjure Bear. We have
Well,
candles.
yep. I like what Betsy said. The what I've seen them before. I don't know like the actual name of them, but I've seen them before.
But this flash paper is a cool tool.
Yeah,
They
the
use it
flash
at
paper.
Unity churches to release intentions. Yes. Yes. And Janet Lee said, I need to send you a jelly envelope soon. Burning sage could work. That also, again, it's like incense. It is fire and air.
Mm-hmm.
Incense. And don't advertise your. Oh, yeah. There you go. Shh.
What's understood need not be spoken.
Yeah. Yes. Flash paper is very helpful.
I'm gonna find me some of that. I swear I'm gonna find me some of that. I forgot all about it until Betsy said that, and I'll tell you what, I haven't seen it since the last time I was horseback. It's been that long since I have seen any flash paper, so I'm gonna look and see if I can find me some.
Tea Garden Chicken, Terry said fire, triangle shape, colors red and orange. There's another thing, the colors that we use. Is this working that I'm doing? Is it a fire spell? Then I should be wearing the appropriate colors to coordinate that.
Miles is always saying something about colors, and I'm never paying attention quite enough. And he likes to make comments about socks, like just put all the colors in your socks.
Yes,
I'm
put all the
gonna
colors in
figure
your
it out.
socks. Yes.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay, and Betsy said, at work, I shake my small jar of black salt, open lid, and blow the smoke around to smudge. Yep,
Yeah.
it's a great air cleansing thing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So the idea of water, which is the emotion and flow, think about this as the element. What tools would be associated with the water or emotions or flow? Of course, the chalice.
Yeah. Scrying bowls.
Yep.
Ocean.
Yes.
Puddle of water.
Mm-hmm.
Rain. Actual rain falling from the sky. Collect it. It's
Yep.
great tool.
Rainwater is great. Seashells. You could also do perfumes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And part of when you do something is when you work with like the oils for healing, the release, the love, and the intuition all comes to part of that.
Oh, I like that.
Tinctures, yes. Working in the direction of fire may be south, could be wrong. So research. It could be, and sometimes you need to mix the different aspects of the elements.
Mm-hmm.
A small fountain, running water is very lovely.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, Medium Betsy Palmer said, Hershey, my guides taught me if I can see the chakra color, I know what issue is at play.
Yeah, Miles has been trying to get me to focus on that. I'm struggling, Betsy. I'm struggling. I can read auras real well, but it has to be in an incredibly crowded room for me to recognize the difference. So I need to hit you up. Maybe you can show me a few shorthands because I'm failing. I'm failing.
Yeah. Eva J says we have sage cough drops, and I have them near my desk so that when the energy starts to feel negative, I grab one. For entertainment purposes only. I'm glad that works for you. I've never heard of that. I have wind chime that's tuned to water energy. Look, do you see what people are doing, Hershey? They're going, oh, I can do this, but I can also do this, and then I can also do this, and I can also do this. That is very cool. See? Yep.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Jonathan brings up using a mister with water and essential oils. And Betsy said, anytime, dear.
And looking up sage cough drops. Yeah, I'm a little curious. I think it's gonna be gross, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah.
Who knows? They might not be.
And here you go. Everybody is now looking up sage cough drops now. Purchase responsibly. I love that. Here you go. Energy is an all-purpose tool. Yes. Deb, you are correct. We're going to look at the next tool or the next magical category, which is earth or grounding or manifestation.
Dirt.
So dirt. Yes, dirt.
I literally work in the dirt, so to speak. So
Yep.
it's something that I can do multiple things with. I can change the depth of it, the consistency, the color, the texture. I can do a lot with dirt. So dirt's one of my favorite things. Ash becomes sand. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all my kind of area. So I work a lot with that stuff.
Yep. I have sand in my shell. I burn sage in. Incense will work. There's also the idea of don't forget basic herbs can be very grounding because they're earthy. Salt, stones, dirt. Think of any of the things that you would associate perhaps with the pentacle suit in the tarot. Those are things that you can influence with these tools. So crystals, less money or less messy, excuse me.
I was going to say less money.
Yeah, I'm like, not the ones that I get.
I really think dirt's cheaper.
Yeah. Earth, rocks, crystals, salt, sand, leaves. Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, I love leaves. But again, we're going back to I like dead wood. I like wood that I find on the ground that looks like it's been electrocuted, and weird crumbled up leaves that should have blown away a long time ago, and moss and all kinds of Spanish stuff. And yeah,
Hmm.
earth.
Yeah.
I like a lot of earth.
Yeah. Um, you have to have fire to make earth ashes. Yes. And a lot of times there is, of these four elements, there is a mixing of them. Betsy says Ricola makes them. She ordered them. So
Really? Ricola, what or however you say it, Ricola, Ricola,
Ricola.
Ricola.
You have to
Okay,
say it like that. You have to say it like that. You have to
I'll
walk
leave that
into the
to
heart. You
you.
have to walk into the drugstore and you
Ricola.
go, I'm looking for Ricola.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, I love it. I
Stones,
love
bones, crystals.
it. Stones, bones, and crystals. That sounds like
Yep.
my kind of fun place.
And again, earth is great for protection, abundance, rootedness, as well as physical support and money.
Mm,
So those are all things that are helpful.
love it.
So we had okay, that's a lot of information that we've just covered.
It is. It is. It is. It is.
What's percolating what's percolating in your brain?
Um, I was just sitting here and I was thinking, like, even like right now, like looking at my five. And then
What are your five? What are your five? Tell us your five.
oh, my five is, well, number one, can I afford the tool? And that goes much more than just monetary value. Like affording it means, can I house it? Can I afford to ship it? Can I afford to replace it if it gets lost, damaged, or in my world, obliterated? Because that happens.
Yes.
So that would be number one: is can I afford it? Not just once, but over and over again if need be. Number two is, do I have anything that scratches this itch that I could be taking away from? Right. So I actually, I was struggling with how I should word that, right? That scratch that itch, because
Mm-hmm.
I, well, for one, it's my book. And if you, in my head right now, I'm not expecting anybody to understand what's going on. But I have to know that I literally cannot manipulate near another item of mine to scratch this itch. If I even think remotely that I have something that will scratch this itch, I will walk away from the tool. Number three, it says, and again, my list is quite similar to everything we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is just much shorter. This one is, is it personal or shareable? Again, is
Very helpful
this for
point.
me, or
Yes.
is this shareable amongst not just my community and my tribe and my family and maybe even my enemies? Is this out there consumable for the public? Like, I have to know what I'm going to do with it and who
Yep.
am I going to do it with.
Yes.
Um, Number
Mm-hmm.
four is this just something I want as a collector's item, or is it, is it something that I'm willing to make the sacrifice for, right? Like, is it
Mm-hmm.
something I can get readily at the Dollar General, or is it something that's going to have to be indie made? You know, I'm going to hunt out a specific person for this said object, said wood, said cloth, said fabric, said piece, whatever the situation may be. Am I doing it because I'm attracted to it as just part of my collection, something pretty to look at, or is it actually going to be a staple, a heavy hitter, a workhorse, so to speak? So number four has probably the most weight, depending on what item it is, and
Mm-hmm.
how it's coming in. And then number five is, where did it stimulate me first? I know that is a crazy question, right?
No.
Where was the very first stimulation I felt? Was it in my root chakra? Was it in my gut? Was it in my heart? Was it in my head? Was
Yes.
it that down the road that told me about this? And now I'm just really curious about it and I can't stop thinking
Mhm.
about it. So
I
it's
love this.
the stimulation is where I need to stay at. If I am not stimulated, this Gemini is going to get bored within seconds. And I'm not only going to walk away from it, I'm going to probably forget that it was ever even a part of my life. It doesn't matter if it is an inanimate object or an actual physical person. I
Uh-huh.
must have stimulation and interaction,
Yeah.
engagement, or I will be gone. I lose interest. And then I can't seem to always so easily go back because I'm now nitpicking, judgmental, and very heavily opinionated about
Mhm.
most of the time me and my own decisions. So the stimulating part needs to be front and center at all times, depending on the
Yeah.
tool. And that's
Yeah.
my checklist.
I love those. Thank you. Those resonate in a very similar fashion to what I shared.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
that's
good.
when I was writing them down, listening. I'm like, I'm going back and forth, like, well, damn, that's just a
It's
short
it's it's
version of
quite
that.
great. Betsy said, "I rescued a huge shaman stick from a thrift. Kind of scares me, but holding it until its proper custodian comes to get it."
I almost did the same thing in the Bahamas, Betsy. I'm telling you, I walked out with something else, but let me tell you, there was a stick that was screaming, "Take me, take me, take me!"
Hmm.
And I was within a red hair close distance of saying, "Okay, that too." But I didn't. I controlled myself, but I dream about that damn walking stick.
Yeah,
I'm just not kidding you. I dream about it. I'm like, I don't know why I left it, but oh god.
yeah. So I think one of the things that is very important is when you're trying, selecting the appropriate tool. Let's see if this gets. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert: the most powerful tool is you.
I like it.
Your intent. If you need an athame, if you need a wand, if you need a chalice, put your hands on the ground for earth. Fill your hands with dirt. I think it's really very important. Now,
Man,
there's also the idea of substitution and improvisation, because oh, Timmy, oh, wait a minute, Timmy, beware of strange shafts. And Maru reminds us we are dirt.
100%.
So here's a wonderful thing. This list that I have is, many magical traditions and solitary practitioners emphasize using what is available. We've talked about that, and using it with clear intention. So keep in mind, a spoon can serve as a wand. A teacup can become a chalice. A matchbox altar can hold your focus. Your breath, voice, finger, or heartbeat can serve as the most ancient and personal tools there are.
Hmm,
When in doubt, the only tool you truly need is yourself.
love it.
A knitting needle is a wand, yes.
With my finger.
What?
I said so is my finger. I'm
Yes,
pointing it.
exactly.
Everything I pointed at.
Yeah. Well, and so, one of the great things about this conversation, and I hope other people are thinking about it, is look around to see what you already have. You do not need to acquire something, because if you look around with the right eyes, you may see what it is that you need. It's going to be visible to you. Um,
I agree. Some things are
I,
just
I
unsanitary.
and part of me part of my practice is, if I can make the tool, even better, because I can make it with intent, and that extra oomph to it. It turns the volume up way high.
Agreed.
Also, something that I have is if I'm purchasing a tool, from an artisan, I will not bargain the price.
Mm.
I will
Yeah. You
purchase
don't
the
want to
tool.
lowball the artist.
Do what?
Yeah, never lowball the artist. Make them feel appreciated, or they're not even going to be moved to make the art. So,
Yeah. Well, but for me is if I see the tool that I need and I argue it, for me, oftentimes it decreases its value and its usability because I have not appreciated it. Because this person put a particular energy exchange with that. And so it's important for me. This is for Gerald, for entertainment purposes only. You do you. And there have been times, and I think I've mentioned this before in the Magic Tool Talk, is I have actually I loved something. I went up to purchase it and they said, "Oh, I'll give it to you for this much." And I went, "Thank you. That's very kind. And I'm giving you this much," which was in my mind the exchange of money that I heard for it, which was higher than the price they had on the price tag.
mm-hmm.
And because that's the energy exchange, I was able to do it. I purchased responsibly and I knew my limits, and I'm just here to share, not to sell. So, but so for me, I don't usually I don't argue yeah. And a resentful artist sends that energy with your discounted item, saying for a friend. Yes.
Oh boy, have we been there before? Yeah.
Yes. Which is why it was a really interesting exchange with this person. I
Mm-hmm.
can't even remember what it was that I purchased, but I said, "No, I want to give you this amount." Well, that's more than what I had on the price. And I said, "I know, this is how I value it."
Absolutely,
And that
100%.
sort of paused them in the track. And I said, "This is the value I want for it."
That's right. Yep. It means this much more to me.
Yes, because it's beautiful and it was made by their hands, and I want
Yep.
that energy to feel appropriate. I want to have great memories using it.
Yes.
I don't want to feel badly about it. I don't want to go, "I got a really good deal on this."
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Now,
It's
if
there's
if
no
someone
price.
says if someone says, "Here, I will, do you want this? I will give it to you for this amount." That is
Different
an
situation.
offer. It's
Yes,
not a bargain.
that's right. It's a different situation entirely.
So please keep in mind the idea of selecting the appropriate tools it is very important for you to know the clarity about what you are trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
the work. Don't be trying to put in a thumbnail with a sledgehammer. I mean, it will work, but there may be some collateral damage that you were not expecting. There's a booth at one of the antique stores Hershey and I often visit. She always gives us stuff free or for $1. Even if we say no, she takes the price tag that said $10 and rips off the zero. This is someone who is probably well connected and connecting you with the right tools.
Absolutely. She made a wreath, and so many people in her family made her feel so bad about this wreath that she made because she practices actively with Santa Muerte. And her family made her feel like such an outcast because of a wreath that she made, a door wreath. I was so honored when she gave it to me. I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'm buying it." Like, she wouldn't let me buy it.
Yeah,
She flat would not let me buy it. Like, took the price tag completely off. I'm like, "Give it back." Mo literally took the words out of my mouth, but
yeah,
yes, and she is probably got the best energy in
yeah.
that entire store because she's so lighthearted and so kind. And it's just like, "Oh my god."
I think this
Never.
brings up a really important point is we have to be open to what the universe can provide to us. Divine timing, divine sourcing, look around and pay attention. Also have that expectation that it will show up when we need it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, backwards, Mo. She made it, and her sister was giving her crap, wouldn't let her hang it in their house, and so that's why it was at the store.
Hershe, tomorrow, do you have Friday fixtures?
I do. Considering this held out, and I'm gonna just hold that same energy as of right now until the universe says otherwise. Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Tomorrow, I have a wonderful laugh and learn with Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, Richie, Longman Tarot, and Linda De Gonzalez. We're talking about artificial intelligence. And that's at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. British summertime. So
That sounds very interesting.
it's going to
I
be a
might be
very good
available.
show.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to at least pop in and do the YouTubey things because that sounds quite interesting for me.
It's going to be a very good show, and it's a conversation about how our experience has been with artificial intelligence. We're not here to have a big debate. We're talking about our experience with it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Then and that's the best part of actually for me when I do come to your channel or I go to Jonathan's or whoever, channel I go to, the experience of it is the best part. So, yeah, I like that.
Linda she says, it's going to be epic. And it's going to be epic because I sent 4 thought-provoking questions that will guide our conversation. And it's like causing brain freeze a little bit.
Absolutely. Oh, good
So,
Lord. I can only wait for it. I'll have notebook already then.
so,
I'll be
and
prepared.
so, yeah. So this is going to be great. And I have to say, thank you very much for joining us as we explore how to choose the right magical tools for the right moment. Whether you're pulling out the whole kit, rummaging through the kitchen drawer, or simply working with your breath and your will, we hope you will walk away with a deeper appreciation for the wisdom of intention.
Mm,
Your tools don't need to be fancy. They need to be right for you,
yes.
for this moment and this working, this version of who you are becoming. And remember, the magic is never in the object alone. It's in how you use it and in who you are as you do. Everyone, take care. Thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up.